and we can make an informed decision on whether we want to go for that champion with our hard-earned units, dollars, and our time. Hey, welcome back to the channel. All right, we need to talk about this balancing. And I am not joking with what I wrote on the thumbnail. We're going to talk about 4 different things. I'm going to explain to you my plan based on the current iteration we are seeing for this new rebalancing. 2, the ratings, the problem with them and why and how they are incredibly nebulous and I think will likely just lead to more confusion and frustration. 3, why I think this plan, this current iteration, is actually bad for all players. I know a lot of people who seem to be saying, I don't spend, this is good for the game long term, and why I'm going to tell you, I truly believe there's something that you're drastically missing. And then 4, what am I going to do about it? I wrote, do not spend. How am I going to handle this if it stays in its current form? My plan is that there is no crystal. There is no arena. Not while the champion is still in this phase. You can introduce the champion and give that champion to everyone. Everyone playing this game and their star level can be determined by the level with which they're in the game, their most recent title, the most prestigious title. So it's not like people are just getting free 6 stars or in-game players are forced to play with the 2-star. You just give them, like I'm in 4 Loki, I'm playing the in-game. I get the 6-star version of whatever champion that is. And then we spend those 6 months playing with them, testing them. Everyone is on equal footing. They go into that beta, they get their updates, then we all play it live. And then, and only then, does a crystal come out and an arena comes out. Every champion that we've been given is removed from our accounts, and we can make an informed decision on whether we want to go for that champion with our hard-earned units, dollars, and our time. It is fair to every single player in the game, and it allows us to know what we're getting while also accepting that rebalancing may be important for the game. Why the rating system absolutely concerns me, and I think it's likely to lead to more confusion and frustration than anything else. And before we dive too far into it, I want to say, Kabam in their posts multiple times talked about this very beloved person who is joining the team. And I have to say, I know that they've come out and said who they are now. I do love them. They are fantastic. I've gotten to know them and they are a fantastic person. I have a lot of confidence in them and faith in them that they will bring all of their integrity, hard work, intelligence, knowledge, and patience to the job. But they are just one person. And so I want to make sure that this is not personal. When you go to the comments and you go to Twitter and these things and you go to the forums, please don't make this personal. But here's why the rating system concerns me so much and why I'm using the term nebulous at best for them. Is that what I have on the screen here, you're like, yeah, it's some of my other videos and things like that. But it's this is the original post. This was the original post that Kabam put out announcing this rebalancing. And I want you to read this. We're going to read this together. For example, Hercules is a great champion with a high damage output. Fair, great champion, high damage output. I am totally with you right now, Kabam. You're on it. But not as much utility. So he would have a 5/5 in damage. All right, cool. You're making sense again. You're making sense. But closer to a 2 or 2.5 for utility. They're losing me here, and they are losing me bad. Magic, on the other hand, is a champion with high utility, which is power lock, and ease of use, but a lower damage rating. Definitely agree. She does not do nearly the damage of Hercules. Her utility, she has, I think, a single nullify off her SP1 and maybe one off of her SP3. She has a really strong power lock. It is incredible. It's amazing. She has absolutely no immunities and absolutely no resistances. She is not an evade counter. She's not an auto block counter. She's not a miss counter. She has no armor penetration, armor block. She doesn't get stronger when the opponent has armor. I think you get the point. All of those things I just mentioned, Hercules has. bleed, and poison resistance. He has True Sense, which gives him miss and auto block countering. He has different buffs that can make him crit more, so you can get to the point where you're not a guaranteed crit, but you're critting frequently, which is something that is often required in this game. And then he has a buff that makes his crits hit harder. He has armored penetration. If you pair him up with Captain America Infinity War, he has access to an armor break. But let's say you don't want that armor break. It's okay, because he gets stronger when the defender has an armor up. And we still have not mentioned his increased combat power rate when he's completed a feat of strength, and the fact that he can go absolutely immortal, meaning not die, and continue on in this game. If that is a 2 or 2.5 in utility, I want to see the 5. I want to see the 5. I am excited for the 2022 champion that comes out that's a 5/5 in damage and a 5/5 utility. I want them bad now. Now, obviously, I'm being sarcastic because that would just blow my mind that this champion could exist or would come into this game and we would consider it balanced, that those would be the aims, the goals of the champions designers and the balance designers, or the balance, whatever the correct term is. And that's why this concerns me, is because I don't think these are specific terms. This game is way too complex. I've told you multiple times, I'm sure you've seen my rankings videos, at least I hope you have. And I will often say this game is way too complex for one champion to always be better than another. Please, please, please go and play them yourself. Check out videos, because there are nuggets and nuance to this game, and it's part of what makes it so cool. And so if we're coming at this with Hercules being a 2 or a 2.5 in utility, it gives me great concern that me as a player and you as a player base are going to agree with Kabam when they say that a champion needs to be buffed or nerfed because they're not hitting their targets. Because it is very clear to me that Kabam is not rating these players the way I know I rate them, or these champions the way I rate them. And based on the comments and views and streams, not the way you would rate them either. All right, why is this bad for all players? I have talked to some players and they're like, well, I don't really grind arena and I don't spend my units on crystals. I open the featured, so it sounds great. And in a way, at first glance, I'm like, yeah, it does sound great, right? We get this ultimately balanced game. We're basically playing like a subscription model type game where you pay a subscription and they just continuously are balancing things and making a really fun game for you. And so it doesn't really matter which champions you have and you don't have, because at the end of the day, they're all going to kind of end up doing something. You're probably going to have someone on your roster that fulfills the needs. There's no drive. There's no reason to go out and get Hercules anymore. There's no reason to go get Kitty Pryde because you've got Cosmic Ghost Rider or you have Odin or whatever, and they're all balanced, right? It sounds great in theory. It really does. But there was something that really wasn't sitting well with me. One is that I don't like the idea of people spending their time, their energy, their money, and then not getting what they bought. That really bothers me. And I'm making it clear, I'm not just talking about people spending money on the game. I'm talking about people who use their time to grind the arena and then get the champion. Or they use the time to grind the arena and get units, and then they open cab crystals and get the champion. I'm including everyone. That bothers me. But here's the bigger issue, the bigger problem, or the one that I think affects everyone. Everyone playing this game. We often get videos, or I get comments about competitive balance in this game, right? And about being able to feel like you're progressing. And I totally get that. I 100% get that. I think it is a real thing. But imagine this scenario now, because one of the justifications for this program was that the champion designers often feel concerned of going too far. And so as a result, we end up with Cyclomans and America Chavez's and Purgatories, these blatant, obvious misses. And they are obvious, by the way. We're in the CCP. You don't have a lot of time to study them, but it's you missed. But okay, cool. I get it. All right, let's say I accept that. Let's say I accept that this testing and this balancing isn't something that should be done before the champion comes into the game. I'll accept that. That's fine. What they're now saying they're going to do is they're going to push those limits. They're going to try hard. They're going to innovate and put new things into the game that they're concerned they may have to bring back in, dial down, nerf. Well, who's going to have access to those champions in that time? The people that grinded the arena and more likely spent their money on the crystals. And they're not going to just have the champion on a beta server somewhere where it doesn't affect their live account. They're going to be using an AQ, Alliance War, Act 7, Act 8, whatever's out, Karina's Challenges, Grandmaster's Gauntlet. Hopefully that eventually comes back. And you're going to be fighting them in Alliance War in solo mode. And so maybe you're not one to go out and grind the arena and open crystals. So you're like, it doesn't bother me. Actually, it does. Because you're going to be going up against these champions that we are known. It is said. One of the points of this is to allow them to push the boundaries, to not be as concerned about going too far. So for those 6 months, you're going up against Hercules, Kitty Pryde, and what have you. And you're facing them in competitive modes of the game. If competitive balance bothers you, if you felt like gifting event allowed people to get too far ahead, I think you probably should still be concerned about this too, and even more so, because it sounds like this is something that will be happening 2 times a month, and you will actually be competing against these people with their overpowered champions that a system has been set up to probably nerf in case they went too far. I hope that was enough to convince you that my plan of everyone having the champions when they are released in the game makes sense and it's fair for everyone. It will keep competitive balance. If the champion's too overpowered, then at least everyone has them. Everyone can use them in war. Everyone can use them in solo mode, in AQ. And then they go and they get tuned down. And then if you really want to get them, you can go and get the crystal or you can grind the arena. But in those competitive modes where we're concerned about competitive balance, we all have access to the same tools, not who got the latest overpowered, clearly ridiculous champion and is now blitzing through the game, through content, and in many ways making me feel like my efforts are minimized. Now, what am I gonna do about this, right? Because here's the iteration we've been given. And here's you've heard the suggestions I've made. I hope Kabam listens to them. Now, if this is exactly what we get, I don't know. I am enjoying the game a lot. It has been frustrating of late. But I know that I've spent $15 this month. I think it's $15. I've gotten the sigil and I've gotten the unit deal. So I can keep units coming in every day. And I've been really happy with that. I never want to say never. But if this is the iteration of the game that comes in, I will probably just limit my spending until the big major holidays, right? The Cyber Weekend, 4th of July, there's a spring event too, and that sort of thing. The deals that are just so obvious if you're going to spend on this game, these are the big, great ones to get. Most of that is rank up resources. And then I will probably use those rank up resources on champions that are outside of this balancing window. Because I don't want to go and spend my money or time on things when I have real reason to believe that's not actually what they're going to be long term. It just doesn't make sense to me. If that's something you want to do, I get it, but I want to do everything I could to get word out that that's what you're getting. You're getting something that very well likely or may change. If it is too good, it will be brought back. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna go with the big holidays deals. I'm not gonna say I'm never gonna open up a crystal again or a cap crystal. I mean, I want to see the iteration. I want to see how this actually plays out. But I know I didn't open for Toad. I didn't open for Sauron, and I'm going to look long and hard at any of these champions that come out. Do not believe I'll be chasing any of them through cap crystals. Maybe the early access deals that have the boost, because I use those in war and things like that. And my advice to you is enjoy the game. Who knows what's coming? Hopefully they develop this more. They think through some of the implications that we're talking about, or maybe they already have thought through these implications and they have safeguards in place. They just haven't let us know yet. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you think I got right, what you think I got wrong, and how you're planning to handle this as we progress. Thank you. I hope you either learned something, were entertained, or even better, a little bit of both. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.